I know Chris Culley considers the BAMMA USA cage his home, and let's just see how Trilly can keep it with a home invader.
And there it is right there.
Sneaky left.
August 9th, I reaffirm the fact that BAMMA USA is my house. Badbeat is where I made my name, and nobody, not even Jesse Powder Newell, is going to stop Trill Nation.
I'm leaving with the BAMMA USA belt because I've worked harder, trained harder, got a better camp, and it's my destiny.
I'm taking the belt home because I earned it. You can't stop destiny.
Welcome back, folks, to BAMMA USA Badbeat number 10. Not only are you seeing us live on television right now, you're also watching us stream on Battle Cam, on Film On, and on television. We're on KILM. You can read the chat on the BAMMA channel on Battle Cam and comment on the fight if you want to.
Very interactive.
Who doesn't want to interact? Let's
Right?
be honest.
It's 2013. Network.
Jesse Powder Newell, 7-2. I've seen some of Newell's fights locally throughout Southern California in the last couple of years, and he is a guy who I think has surprised more than one person in those 7 victories with what he was able to do, able to endure. And I think if you want to put a guy in against Chris Culley, who really, for his own enjoyment as a fighter, needs to be tested.
Well,
This guy can do it.
We just saw Newell come in with a jiu-jitsu gi and belt. I don't know if that is a tell sign that he's going to be putting Culley on his back. And the thing is with Culley is you don't want to fight him standing. You want to get him onto the ground.
We saw some of Culley's more recent fights. His takedown defense and his ability to work on the ground have vastly improved from what they had been in the past. I believe one of Newell's fights that he won in recent, and is probably in his last 4 or 5 fights locally, was, I believe, a knockout or a TKO. He has good hands. I think you might be looking at 2 guys who have preferences to be standing around the ground, not an inability to function as well there.
It's been a real treat watching Chris Culley. One of the advantages we have of being able to do BAMMA USA is this is the 5th fight in a row in BAMMA USA for Chris Culley. So we get to see him, advance and get better and work on his skills intermittently over the course of the last 1.5 years, 2 years. And that's really a unique pleasure because in regional MMA, there's a lot of different shows. A lot of fighters kind of fight all over the place. Culley has stayed at BAMMA USA. He's fought in every BAMMA USA since 6, 7, 8, 9. Now he's here in 10, looking for his 5th fight in a row. It's a rare opportunity for us to be able to see a guy develop like that. And now he's got a new challenge in 7-2, Jesse Newell.
Yeah, Newell's going to be a challenge for him, no question.
Absolutely, but I think you've seen Culley, this progression, and this is a very, very solid test for him, and that's why it's for the belt. I think it's a very good decision for BAMMA to have both of these guys fighting for a belt 5 rounds.
Chris Culley, to follow up what we just saw, a bunch of actors and celebrities in the cage. Chris Culley's career as a fighter is like the storyline to any good, well-written movie. It has an arc. He's evolved from what he was through experiences, both good and bad, to what he now is. It is a changed and improved version of what he had been. And the one thing Chris Culley has no idea what to do with is boredom. He has no idea how to bring it, how to do it, how to be a part of it. He is exciting all the way.
And such a methodical, fun striking style. Counter striker, bides his time, doesn't make mistakes, keeps his cards close to his vest.
I mean, you look at his record. He's 17-10, and you would say that's not impressive. But if you look at his last fights, and then you'd be very, very impressed.
It's not where you've been, it's where you are, and he's definitely come a long way. Like we said, he's won. This will be his, if he wins tonight, 5th win in a row in BAMMA. He started out at BAMMA at 13-10. Now he's moved on to 17-10. Now he's getting championship level experience with 5-minute rounds. It's gonna be fun.
Tail of the tape from Barstow versus Ventura, California. Both guys came in on weight. The record of experience vastly heavy for the Urban Legend, Chris Culley. Yeah, Culley, an exciting striker. In his last couple outings, we saw him toying with opponents with his ability to strike and counter-strike.
That is a very intimidating photo by Jesse Newell.
Yeah, if he put that on his driver's license, he would get off every time.
I think Powder is a very, very good nickname for Mr. Newell.
I'm interested to see how much of the best of Culley Newell's able to bring out, because I believe he's capable of doing it. Behind Culley, you can see us. There's my R.J. Clifford waving from the back.
We get kind of a unique perspective because normally commentators are cage side, but because of the ramp and the way the situation's done, we're elevated up eye level of the cage, which is kind of nice because you can look down and see guys on the ground. Sometimes when you're cage side, you look up and you can't see groundwork, but we got a big screen in front of us. We got the cage, eye level or a little bit lower. Nice little spot. And we're about 3 feet away from the ring girls.
Mike Vale's going to start this one off as our main event, Culley versus Newell.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for our main event of the evening. 5-minute rounds for the BAMMA USA Featherweight Championship. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, his official weight, 144 pounds. Fighting out of Gracie Marumba Jiu-Jitsu and Knuckleheads Boxing. Please welcome from Ventura, California, Jesse Powder Newell. And now, let's welcome his opponent across the cage in the red corner. His official weight, 145 pounds. Fighting out of Millennia MMA and Bullet Hole Muay Thai. Please welcome from Victorville, California, by way of Barstow, California, Chris, the Urban Legend Culley.
You know it's a solid main event, well-matched fight when you've got the names of Bullet Hole Muay Thai, Millennia MMA, Knuckleheads, and Gracie Marumba.
Already. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Touch gloves now if you want. At the sound of the bell, come on out and handle your business. Let's go.
This is our main event, 3 5-minute rounds.
Five five-minute rounds.
My bad, sorry.
5 5s.
Don't steal those 10 minutes entertainment from us.
This is a title fight with one of the newly to be coveted BAMMA USA belts. Beautiful belt. Both guys want it. Who wants it more?
Chris Culley in the southpaw stance.
He's in the green and blue and yellow writing on his trunks. The black with some white, that's Jesse Powder Newell.
Man, that's a fast body kick.
Yeah, Culley's got speed and precision.
Yeah.
His striking is very, very crisp.
Oftentimes, his opponent's reactions to his speed to strike and the accuracy of it is reminiscent of a Roy Jones opponent when they thought they could handle the speed, and the first time they got hit by it, they're like, whoa.
Absolutely.
You can train for it all day long, but until you experience it and feel it and get your timing completely screwed up, because as soon as you take one step, you're getting jabbed and kicked in the head.
And Newell's doing exactly what he should be doing. He felt that the kicks were and punches were a bit too much, so he's putting him against the cage.
Got a nice body lock right now. Let's see what he can do with it. Culley has shown historically, Ron, that he is fantastic against the cage and defending takedowns. The subtle little hip positions, overhooks, settling your hands. He's so good at not taking, and grabbing the cage there when you need to, an illegal hold, but the referee let it slide this time.
As long as the referee doesn't say anything, you're okay.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, right?
That's it.
What you said is what I was going to say for the most part was absolutely we've seen his takedown defense and his ability to work well off the cage. His cage control really has stepped up. And in a fight like this, had that not evolved for him, he would be in a lot of trouble in this kind of a fight. But now, no, Culley very able to handle this.
Absolutely. Culley is a constantly evolving mixed martial artist. His striking has always been his strong point, but I know him very well. I talk to him fairly often. He's constantly working on his deficiencies, making them strengths as well.
And he's honest in his own assessments. I think that's why he improves, because he doesn't kid himself. He sees what he doesn't think he's good at. He takes what advice his coaches think he's not as proficient in. And the next time you see him, the difference is noticeable in those areas.
But with that said, I would like to see more offense out of Culley here. I mean, he's getting pushed against the cage. He's, technically losing. He's using the cage control battle, but he's not getting taken down. So I'd like to see a little bit more aggressive there.
Newell's got it.
Newell's got a double leg. Nope.
See,
Culley will stay up.
And again.
There
now
it
he's
is.
got it.
See, if he was hanging out there so long, you can toy with fire. Toy with fire only so long, and you'll probably eventually get taken down. So that's what I'm saying. He's getting so much better there. But I'd like to see more offense and counter offense out of him.
Two things we're seeing here. One, Newell doing what he needs to do with familiarity of who he's fighting. I think he knows this is the game plan he needs to have. Two, Culley, I think, pacing himself a little bit. He knows he's got 5 5-minute rounds. He's not going to go full speed in the first round or even 2. He's going to gradually, as we've seen in the past, as this progresses, start to amp up his attack.
And Newell can't do that either. I mean, you have to think that this fight, especially with the caliber opponents you have, could go all 5. And if you spend all of your energy and blow it all out in the first round, that's going to be a really rough 4 rounds to finish up with.
Yeah, especially if Culley's doing the exact opposite and he's able to finish strong. Both guys have good cardio, but it's a matter, like you said, the expenditure of the energy over the rounds that are not going to be easy for either of them.
Jesse Newell's in the cockpit flying this ship right now. I mean, he's not doing really any damage, but he's controlling the cage. He got the 1 takedown. Culley doing really nothing but defending, so Newell doing a good job of putting this fight where he wants. And now they finally separate. Culley with his strikes. He's so good at doing those straight punches at the end of the punch and finishing with a head kick.
Nice right hand Newell walked into. He countered with one of his own, then he closes the distance.
But he walked it back inside.
Yep.
And again, I think that you can win rounds doing this. I mean, it won't be the most exciting fight, and it certainly won't be ones that the fans will enjoy. But he could realistically win a fight by backing Culley into the cage and running the action.
I don't think he's going to be able to do that the whole night. I think this is part of what we're seeing is the warm-up start process for Culley and taking his time and pacing himself. One of the things about Culley that I love, he's got the Muay Thai background, right? He's more of a stand-up fighter historically up until he's evolved as a mixed martial artist. But the fusing of the styles, the weight distribution with wrestling and boxing and Muay Thai, and he seems to have the ability to fuse his striking and his ground and his defense very, very well.
Throwing a lot more knees.
Yeah, he's finding his stroke. He's trying to time Newell coming in with those knees. Newell able to land some strikes of his own again. Now back up against the cage.
I'm so far seeing what I would have expected from both of them at this juncture. 23 seconds now left in the opening round. 5 rounds, 5 minutes each. Title on the line. 145-pound belt.
Nice transition. See, that's what I'm talking about. Instead of just defending, he went to the head of Newell, rotated him. Oh, and a great
big knee at the end of the round.
Some of
into
that
a guillotine.
Jumps and that's tight. Short time. Short time and just in time. A fantastic round by Jesse Newell. Completely flipped on a 180 by Chris Culley with a fantastic strike combination and a guillotine.
That could have won him that round at the very, very end.
I think it did. I think it did, Gabe. I mean,
that was a destructive knee followed by a guillotine, which, given another 10, 15 seconds, could have been the fight.
We're on TV, right? We're on KILM. We're on Battle Cam on Film On. That is, in television, what you call a cliffhanger. It was the end before a break that made you want to know what was going to happen next. Look at that.
See the head cocked back by Newell. And the toughness of Newell, he kept
tough.
plodding forward, but he got himself right into a guillotine choke.
That's when you know you're rocked. You jump into it. He just wanted to ensure he didn't get struck anymore.
And Newell, I think, is another one of those guys that you can sling that adjective durable at. He is really a tough guy.
What great timing on that knee. Right when Newell was moving his head in, Culley just timed it beautifully.
I've trained with Culley, and trust me, he works on that timing. Anticipating your shot, following it with the knee.
Yeah, and it makes it very difficult for Newell to have confidence in his shot again.
Absolutely.
If I duck my head and try to shoot again, am I going to eat some more kneecap?
I think those upper body clinches are going to be better for Newell.
Second round of action. Culley versus Newell. Title fight, 145-pound belt. Chris Culley in the blue with yellow and green. The black with some white and blue. That is Jesse Powder Newell.
Culley's now keeping, again, his opponent at the end of his fist, at the end of his kick, and circling it now.
Nice jab.
Yeah, when Culley starts with lateral movement and mixing up his strikes.
Good body kick by Newell. See that feint? That feint really shook Newell. As soon as Newell's tasted the speed and the power of Culley already, as soon as Culley just did a little tiny fake, just a tiny little feint, Newell completely overreacted to it.
These two guys are the argument against anybody who doesn't realize this is a thinking man's sport. Because you can see the intelligence in their style and their approach and how they execute what they're doing.
You can almost hear the wheels in Chris Culley's head turning. You know, just computing all the data that's coming his way, knowing what strike to do, what to do with your feet, what to do with your fists.
And it is a very thought-provoking thing he's got to do because Newell is not a predictable guy. His movements are not easy to predict. He's very, very tough to endure the pressure. It's a hard fight.
The thing that impressed me the most about Culley is he stays solitary. He doesn't move until Newell comes in and gets the strike off. He's not moving. He doesn't have a lot of footwork, but he's still striking and landing every single time. You have guys that working their footwork a lot, and not say he's not moving, but watch, he'll stop, move, and as Newell comes in, then he strikes.
I think that's what makes him able to counter with those big power shots, too, when he catches Newell coming in, because he does stop every so often to plant and throw. That, by the way, is not a good thing if you're Newell. If Culley can stop, plant, and throw, and then move and be out of harm's way
Newell
for a
needs
counter.
to get back inside. He can't stay on the outside with Culley.
Newell's pushing forward and being aggressive, but Culley's doing such a good job at
head kick.
Right there.
Culley
keeping Newell at the end of his punch. He'll jab, get out of range when Newell is throwing. Newell will miss, and he jumps right back into range again with another strike.
But Newell needs to come in with that upper body clinches. That was working better for him in this round, and if he's losing the striking exchanges, he cannot stay there.
He's losing the striking exchanges. It's clearly not something you want to do against Chris Culley, but Newell's a good striker. He trains at a good gym for striking. He's not going to be that easily deterred from playing this game.
Oh, I don't doubt that, but here's the reality. If you're losing in that position, get it to a different position where you're stronger.
I wonder if that knee to the face he ate late in round one is making him apprehensive to shoot again.
Yeah,
but here he is closing the distance against the cage where he wants to be.
Yeah, I absolutely think that could be a big factor, sure. That's a big price to pay for something that works well for you all of a sudden, and then you walk into that.
And Culley just gets right off. You can tell he's been working that.
Look, Chris Culley is like satellite navigation. He knows where he wants to go. When he prepares pre-fight and he's training, he figures out how to get there. There it is.
Perfect analogy.
Precise striking. He knows where he wants to go. He wants to be on his feet. He wants to work and pick his shots, lateral movement, effective striking, and he knows against each opponent he figures out how to make that happen.
He's getting confidence, too.
You can see it, right?
Absolutely.
Well, plus he's looking at two big cuts on the eyes of Jesse Newell on either side of the eye. Blood coming from two separate cuts. That's gonna raise your confidence too. I've already heard him. He's bleeding.
Well, now
you're literally smelling blood.
And Newell's also afraid to shoot.
Yeah, you
because
see
of
him
those
almost
knees.
fall in there too. You almost kind of laid in for a second.
That's when it becomes target practice. Where you got a guy you're a better striker than who's afraid to shoot.
Absolutely.
Chris Culley could be fighting a machine gun. It's going to be target practice for Culley.
Again, you saw that fake by Culley, and Newell completely, covered up and reacted to it.
He can't.
He's coming back and fighting.
Yeah,
Newell's still fighting. It's not.
Culley can't.
He's
sleep
not
on
giving
Newell.
up. I'll tell you that.
No, he won't. No, Newell will not give up. I've seen previous fights he's had in other shows. He's not going to give up. And believe me, if Culley gets lazy and too cocky and doesn't keep his guard, Newell can upset the apple cart here, very much so.
One punch, one kick can change everything around within a second.
And the most dangerous person to pull that off when you don't expect it is the guy who won't quit like Newell.
Newell's face is just telling the story of Culley's jabs and knees, just cuts and scrapes and blood everywhere. And it's only the second round.
Culley threw a right hand, threw a back fist with it before he recoiled it, and then a left.
Matt Lindland calls that the pimp knuckles. And so will I in that case.
If you're going to quote someone.
Beautiful.
Nice kick.
That jab kick to the body of your head is just one of Culley's most dangerous weapons. It's fantastic. It disrupts the defense of your opponent. Boom, come right up with a head kick.
I got to give it both rounds to Culley.
2 rounds down, 3 5-minute rounds. still left.
5 minute rounds. Remember,
Well,
championship.
three left.
3 left. Excuse me. What am I doing correcting you? You know what's up.
I was thinking the first round could have gone in Newell's favor, and then the very end, Culley with that knee guillotine combo, I thought strolled the round for him. So I'm going 2 rounds up for Culley.
If you want to leave the wild card in the deck for the, I didn't know that was coming, there's a possibility based on the way the round played out until Culley finished it strong that round either went even or to Newell. I wouldn't rule out judges possibly going to Newell on round number 1. Round number 2, anybody who didn't see Culley winning the round shouldn't be driving or operating heavy machinery.
I don't want to be in the row with him.
But Newell had a very good first round. He got a little bit devastated in the final minute or less of the round. But Newell had a very good first round.
Now let's see if he changes up his strategy. I mean, I know I would.
If I'm Newell, I'm looking at this round as this is the tiebreaker of the first 3.
What do you do different, Gabe, if you're Jesse Newell? What's the game plan? What's the change?
Try to get on the inside as fast as possible and work to get into the clinch. That's going to be where he can work his takedowns, where he can change his levels because he doesn't have to worry about the knees, doesn't have to worry about the strikes. Right there, he should have been pressing forward and pushed him against the cage.
Good body shots by Newell to Culley. That could be an effective way to slow him down.
The thing, though, is you're still playing a striking engagement with Culley. And he should be pressing him up. Why is he not doing it? That's really, if I was his corner, that's what I'd be telling him. Put him up against the cage and then change your levels. Go for your takedowns against the cage.
He's doing a pretty good job of pushing Culley back. I mean, he's sometimes eating strikes, but he's pushing the fight to where it wants to go against the cage, and he lets Culley circle right out.
Exactly. He's not engaging that very last step where it could be a better position for him.
That looked like it hurt. That body shot by Culley looked like it hurt Newell.
Both of you have been in there before. When you say something like letting Culley circle out, how hard is it to keep somebody that skilled, that comfortable on their feet as a striker from circling out?
You have to go.
It's tough, but you got to commit.
If you commit 100% to it, it's the same thing with any type of throw or takedown. You commit 100% to it. If you go halfway doesn't get you there. You have to go 100%.
So you think he's just tentative, and that's why he's not able to keep Culley from circling away?
Well, I mean, obviously you're dealing with a skilled opponent, and that changes the strategy. But you have to go 100%. If you go 100% and it doesn't work, at least you know
he's got the leg up.
There you go.
There he goes. Now he took his opportunity. Can he get the takedown here? He's got a deep body lock.
See, Culley turns his hips.
Shouldn't back out. He shouldn't back out.
He sprawls and turns, and he's able to offset that, and then he ends up staying on his feet. It's very difficult to get Culley down.
Good body kick by Newell.
Culley knew the bounty on his head was takedowns. Get him to the ground. He's a stand-up guy. Get him to the ground. He has vastly changed that deficiency and made it pretty much, it's vanished.
I also think those knees have really made Newell's afraid to engage in that.
He's gun shy.
But he could also come in with strikes and press him against the cage, and he could do that without having to worry about a knee to the face.
Leg kick by Newell. Again, Newell in the black, Culley in the blue, yellow, green.
Give Newell credit. He's definitely on the bad end of this striking exchange, but he's still moving forward. He's landing strikes of his own. He's landing some punches,
he
landing
just blew
some kicks.
blood out of his nose there. Did you see that?
But he's definitely the worse for wear between the two.
Again, Newell is a good striker. The thing is you're watching a guy who's a master musician performing in a dueling banjo kind of setting against a guy who is just a masterpiece performer. Culley is an aficionado of striking.
Yeah, even if Newell has good striking, I mean, and he does, you don't want to play your weakest weapon against someone's greatest weapon.
Newell's pushing him against the cage now. He's got him cornered, and he backs up. You think that's where he wants to be?
If he pressed forward, keep pressing forward, not happening.
You got a guy with a heart as big as Newell and as tough as him. There's got to be a small percentage of him that thinks if I can knock out the striker, if I can knock Culley out, that's big news.
I mean, that looks like what he's doing. He's engaging in a striking range kickboxing fight with Chris Culley. Maybe he sees something we don't. Up elbow, Culley. Back elbow, up elbow, followed by a leg kick by Culley.
That's what I like about Culley's style, too, is that he does a lot of what you expect to see him do with his background. Then every so often he mixes it up with things you don't. He's just so resourceful. He's so, whoa, spinning back fist. Newell almost got caught clean with that. I think being up in the air saved him.
Culley's starting to open up the toolbox a little bit, showing some skills that he hasn't
feeling
showed
confidence. He doesn't have to worry about anything really. You know, he knows, he sees what Newell's bringing to the table, and it's not anything that's concerning him. And now he has a chant. Much like Hulk Hogan in the WWF days, this could be the end right here.
40 seconds left in round number 3. See what Culley does with it.
Both
See what Newell
groups
does with it.
have the contingents that are chanting Jesse and Culley. We're hearing Chully or Jesse kind of mixed in between both names.
Just jarbled at this point.
But they're both very well supported fighters, and that's really cool to see that.
And deserving of it.
Yeah, I agree. Head kick, Culley.
And it landed clean right over the arm.
That's been a great counter by Culley because Newell's doing a good job of doing that right to the body. And when you do that, your hand is lower, your head is lower, and just opens you up for that head kick. And Culley's making him pay for it multiple times.
The more I watch, the more I agree with what Gabe said before. As good as you can be at striking, you're working against a guy who is an extremely gifted and proficient striker in Culley. It's one thing to be shooting fish in a barrel. For Culley, if you engage him in a striking thing, it's like he's shooting the barrel.
Just a shotgun blowing the whole thing out.
Now, even if you gave the first round to Newell, which I still don't think he won, that's 2 up for Culley.
Clearly.
Decisively.
Clearly. I agree. I don't know that he won the first round. I think it's you can make the argument he won it because he did have some good moments of pressing the action. He was the one moving forward more. He got devastated in the end of that round. I mention that mainly because what we're seeing here in this replay of Culley working his thing didn't happen as much in the first round until the very last portion of it. And judges could see that as a Newell round.
Well, he's definitely up 2 now for sure.
Let's see if Culley starts opening up that arsenal a little bit more. It's like every as the rounds go on, he kind of reaches into his
we're going to championship rounds.
The armory and pulling out more weapons. You've seen up elbows and spinning back fists.
He's more comfortable. He's got less time to conserve his energy for, and he's more familiar with the partner he's in the dance with. He will continue to do that if this fight goes the distance. This is the 4th round now, scheduled for 5 5-minute rounds. 3 of them in the books. If you're a fight fan, you want to see this thing go to the decision just so you can watch these guys work for another 10 minutes. Culley in the blue, yellow, and green accented trunks. Jesse Newell, Powder in the black. Jesse Powder Newell, Chris, the Urban Legend Culley, 2 good nicknames.
The other thing about Culley is he hasn't had to fight off of his back, so his cardio is superior right now because this is where he's his realm. He's a striker. If you don't take a striker to the ground where it's going to wear him out, this is his zone. He's right where he wants to be.
I couldn't agree more. And beyond what we've been saying, which is the obvious, you're letting a guy like Culley work masterfully where he wants to be as a striker. But what you point out adds another layer of difficulty for Newell and advantage Culley. He hasn't been taxed in the one area you could tax him.
We got a little inadvertent eye poke by Jesse Newell to Chris Culley. Quick timeout called by the referee, Mike Beltran.
A very astute observation by Gabe on that, too, because that also adds a layer of what we're seeing here that's not the obvious portion of it, that Culley's simply getting to strike. It's that he hasn't been forced into a discomfort zone at all.
Here we go. Action restarted. No harm, no foul.
Tell you what, future opponents for Jesse Newell are gonna second guess striking with him too, because if he's willing to stand in the pocket with Culley,
and he keeps engaging. He's not giving up on that at all.
He's a good striker, like I said. He's confident that he's got at least a puncher's chance, at least.
And he's tough as nails. He keeps shooting the blood out of his nose to clear his airway.
Might be chunks of cartilage in those snot rockets that he's shooting. He's taking so many shots to the face.
I don't want to be the BAMMA cleanup crew this evening.
No, but I do want to be the guy who's printing T-shirts right now who hears us online that say snot rockets. I want to be that guy.
Patent pending. Copyright infringement.
You could say it with the Hot Pockets kind of snot rockets. RJ Clifford, you are fun to have at the table.
You can be my branding manager,
Any
Yak Man.
table. 2 minutes and 40 seconds left now in this 4th round.
Oh,
another head
great
kick.
head kick. See, it's all those knees and head kicks landed by Culley that's making Newell apprehensive and dropping his body and dropping his hips and head to go for takedowns.
Now Newell keeps backing away. You could tell he's afraid of the strikes. Not afraid, but very, very aware of it. Yeah.
Well, who wouldn't be? Look at that.
And
Newell looks hurt. Newell looks hurt. Down he goes.
That might be it.
Culley on top of some ground and pound. Newell hanging tough.
Who wouldn't be wary of that? Fighting Chris Culley's got to feel like you're surrounded.
And look at now he's engaging in the ground. He's getting control of the ankles.
Got to watch the up kick. Again, Culley's only big vulnerability here could be just carelessness. If he gets careless, he can get caught.
He's playing it very smart even on his groundwork.
He is
controlling. He's not going all the way into the guard. He controls the ankles as he punches. Then he backs out when he feels Newell's trying to get into control of his legs.
Chris Culley just as methodical on top in the up-down position as he is striking. Picking his shots, not overly aggressive, not letting anything Newell does worry him. Knee bar attempt. Knee bar by Newell. That was Newell's.
Goes back to it.
That was Newell's best opportunity right there. Very close knee bar attempt by Jesse Newell.
By Newell. Bloodied, tired,
still going for it.
Tough as nails. Jesse Powder Newell.
Just taking a beating. Still going for it though.
Totally.
Culley lets him up.
Now he committed to that submission attempt.
Absolutely. I think he knew that was his Hail Mary. That was his chance. And it's got to be so disheartening to have that almost there, and then it being lost, and then having to stand back up.
You're in the 4th round of a championship fight. You're down probably 30-27. You have victory right there in between your legs and in your arms. Slipped away by the savvy of Chris Culley.
He was hoping Culley was going to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Back to elbow again.
What a valiant attempt.
Shows how tough Newell is.
Shows how ideal this was on paper and in actuality as a main event. And a title fight. Remember, this is a championship belt on the line. Both guys have made their case as someone who should have a belt.
Jesse Powder Newell is looking crimson on his front, just covered in blood from all the lacerations on his face and from his bloody nose.
Oh, that's
Another
why.
head kick by Culley.
Again.
That's why.
And a knee.
Chris Culley.
He's trying to finish it.
Newell's hurt. Newell's hurt bad. He needs this round to end quick for him.
Chris Culley's artistry is what would happen if you had somebody at the talent of Van Gogh doing paint by numbers. Someone who doesn't need it made easier. He's just that good.
Gabe, if you're in the corner of Jesse Newell, do you stop this fight?
You know what? As a fighter, I say no. As a corner, I would. It looks like it was stopped.
That's it?
Yep.
That's it?
Yep.
Was that a corner stoppage or a doctor stoppage?
I have no idea.
We'll find out.
Either way, Mike Beltran waves his hands off. Chris Culley gets a TKO, corner or doctor stoppage, 4th round of 5, and he wins the BAMMA USA Featherweight Championship. Let's see some of his handiwork.
I'll tell you this. If you ask Newell right now, he did not want that fight stopped. I don't know if that's
I believe
that's
that.
heart or, that's the real fighter spirit. You don't want it to be stopped.
I believe that because I've never seen Newell even come close to knowing what quitting was. I believe that.
But Culley is more than deserving of that win. I know he put in unbelievable amount of work, and it showed, his ability to stuff the takedown and land strikes at will.
It's like we were talking about earlier. This is the 5th time we see him in the BAMMA USA cage. He showed new tools and improvements every single time he went out. I mean, just as this fight progressed, I was kind of, what tiny little critique you can give to Chris Culley was, well, in the 1st round, he was kind of content having his back against the cage. What does he do late in the round? Turn his opponent Newell off the cage, land some strikes. Newell wasn't able to do that again for the rest of the fight. So even mid-fight, he's making improvements.
That's why in the 1st round, when that was happening, I made a point of pointing out that I think that some of what was happening there was Culley settling into the fight, seeing what Newell was going to do, how he was going to do it. I don't think he was as much victim as he was volunteer.
Well, and big props to Jesse Newell, fighting tough, He basically fought Chris Culley's game for 4 rounds, lived to tell about it. He got beat up. He landed his strikes. He held in there tough, had a knee bar nearly there in the 4th round. Props to both fighters, but I tell you what, man, Chris Culley just keeps getting better and better.
And he was trying to finish the fight with that knee bar. You could see it in his movements and in his face, you know, and it was his last shot. And you know, because the fight was stopped. I don't know if it was the doctors or was it his corner?
We'll get an official announcement, but I mean, either way, I mean, the doctor, you look at the face and look at the cuts, the doctors could have stopped it.
I think it's justifiable.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, he was blowing blood out of his nose, like you said, for a while too. Who knows what the extent of what was injured or going on with him was. Our ring announcer, Mike Bale, is going to give us the official word on the stoppage. And then R.J. Clifford will get a word with our winner.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout ends at the end of round number 4. On instruction of the corner of Newell, referee Mike Beltran steps his bout for your winner and is now the BAMMA USA featherweight champion, Chris the Urban Legend Culley.
R.J. Clifford's going to get hopefully a word with both guys, but
Culley overwhelmed with joy.
you got to walk away from this a fan of Newell too. I mean, he's incredibly tough and talented. Culley earned that belt because of what Newell gave him to deal with. And now what we get to deal with, R.J. Clifford, with a word with Chris Culley. And probably both guys, if we're lucky, we'll get to hear from Newell as well and see the respect.
And I think we need to. I'd like to hear
because of the stoppage.
His take, yeah.
All right, I'm here with your winner and BAMMA USA featherweight champion, Chris Culley. Chris, this is the 5th time we've seen you in the BAMMA cage, your 5th win in a row. You just seem to keep getting better and better and better every time we see you. What's your secret, man?
My secret is I come from Barstow, California. It's from a city of hard workers. You don't get chances. I'm from the 760, man. And my coach is at Millennium Mixed Martial Arts. My kickboxing coach, one of the greatest kickboxers of all time, Craig Buchanan. They just put all their love, hard work, time, and effort in. When I went to them, I had a losing record. They got me to 500, and then they got me to a championship. And I want to say every night I ran my city from Amethyst to Jade off Bear Valley in Victorville. Every night, 5 miles. And every night I cried, man. I shed tears because I don't think people understand how hard it is to get here. And I'm just happy that I'm here. I'm happy I had a fucking tough opponent. Jesse Newell's a bad motherfucker, boy. And I'm just blessed to be here.
Yeah, Jesse hung tough. I'd give a round of applause for Jesse Newell and a fantastic performance. Chris, the first round was very, very competitive. Probably could have went either way. Second round, you took over. What was it that made you take over that fight?
In the first round, he got on top of me and punched me like I stole something. So I was like, I can't let that happen. It was just fear and piss and vinegar, man. He's a tough dude, and I couldn't give an inch.
Jesse's going to be having nightmares about that knee bar that almost was. How close was that submission?
Very close. I screamed a little bit. I was like, ah! But I wiggled out, and I just did what my coaches told me to do.
How's it feel to be the BAMMA featherweight champion?
It feels great. I can't explain it. It's something I've wanted. I've willed it. I've asked for this, and I got it. It just feels great.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your winner, featherweight champion Chris Culley. All right, we got the challenger right here, Jesse Newell. Jesse, hard-fought fight. You're wearing his handiwork on your face, but you hung tough. Just to clarify, was your corner stoppage? Was that a doctor stoppage? Right, the fight ended in between the 4th and 5th round.
Yeah, that was actually a corner stoppage. I would have kept going, but unfortunately, I was taking a lot of shots to the face from Chris, and we had to stop it.
What was the game plan going in? Because you did a lot of striking with him. Originally, it looked like you were going for takedowns, pushing against the cage, and then you chose to do basically a kickboxing match with him. Was that the game plan?
Game plan was actually to try and close the distance and put him on his back. And I kind of fell into his game and started striking with him. He was obviously the better striker tonight. He was the better man because he's leaving with the belt. I would just like to thank all my friends and family that came out tonight, all of Chris's fans that came out, made this possible. Brett Roberts throwing a good show. I appreciate everybody being here, man, and thank you. I'll see you guys again.
Big props. You hung in there tough in a fantastic fight, fighting until the end. Let's give it up for both fighters, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic main event at BAMMA USA. Badbeat 10. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for coming tonight to support the event. Remember, the next BAMMA USA event, Pro Series 3, will be September 7th at the Briarmar Country Club in Woodland Hills, September 7th. We'll also be back here at the Commerce Casino October 25th for Badbeat 11. Again, thank you for coming out tonight. Check out all future events at BAMMAUSA.com.